Let's talk about testosterone. Not just the hormone you've heard about, the one associated with muscle mass or sex drive, but the one you might feel slipping when you've got less energy, less motivation, less edge. The one that used to make you want to do hard things, and now some days, even getting off the couch feels like a negotiation. See, this isn't just a low libido hormone. Testosterone is the biological engine of vitality, the internal gas pedal that pushes you to pursue, to protect, to conquer, to build. It's about muscle and fat, sure, but it's also about mood and motivation, decisiveness, and that sense of personal power that makes you feel on. And here's the problem. Too many men are walking around with low testosterone and just don't even know it. Or worse, they've been told it's just part of getting older. But it's not. Well, at least not entirely. And the best part, you can raise it naturally without going on testosterone replacement therapy. And today we're going to break it all down. So first, let's start with the basics. Testosterone is a steroid hormone produced primarily in the testes in men, and in smaller amounts in the ovaries and adrenal glands in women. In men, about 95% of testosterone is made in the testes. But that process is governed by your brain, specifically what's called the HPG axis, or the hypothalamus, pituitary, and gonads. Let me simplify it. Your brain tells your body when life is in go mode, when the coast is clear, and when it's time to grow and compete and reproduce, take risks and build. And when that signal's green, your hypothalamus releases a hormone called GnRH, or gonadotropin releasing hormone, which tells your pituitary gland to release LH, or luteinizing hormone, which then tells your testes, hey, it's time to make testosterone. But here's the thing. Your body is constantly evaluating your environment to decide whether it's time to go all in or to shut it down. So I want you to imagine your HPG axis is basically a thermostat in your house. If everything is optimal, you've got food, sex, safety, sunlight, strength, your thermostat turns up the heat. You're energized, confident, and engaged. But if your environment signals stress, starvation, threat, inflammation, poor sleep, or you're just sitting still all day, staring into blue light, breathing shallow and scrolling, the thermostat turns down, testosterone falls. And when that happens, you don't just have less testosterone, you feel less like yourself. Let's go deeper. Yes, testosterone supports muscle growth. Yes, it's essential for libido. And yes, it helps maintain healthy bone density and body composition. But what a lot of people don't realize is how deeply psychological testosterone is. When testosterone is low, your desire to act, to challenge yourself, it plummets. This isn't weakness, it's biology. And we've seen this in clinical studies. Low testosterone is strongly associated with depression, low motivation, increased fatigue, and even anxiety in men. And for reference, a study that was published in the Archives of General Psychiatry in 2005 showed that men with low testosterone were 4 times more likely to be clinically depressed. And here's the weird part. You still know what to do. You know you should get up and go work out. You know you should say no to the junk food. You know you should just push through. But when testosterone is low, you just don't feel like it. Not just physically, but psychologically. The why bother voice gets louder. The dopamine response gets flatter. You lose the natural motivation to do hard things. And when testosterone is restored, even by natural means, the internal switch flips back on. It's like the fog lifts, you're back. And here's where it gets personal. I don't care how jacked you are or how much money you make. If your testosterone is low, you're running at partial volume. You might be getting by, but you're not operating, you're coping. Now here's what throws most people off. It's not just one thing. Low testosterone is rarely caused by one single deficiency. It's a cumulative stress on your system, hitting multiple points along that HPG axis, the thermostat. Let's go through the major factors. So first we have aging. Yes, testosterone declines naturally with age, around 1% per year after the age of 30. But here's the truth. That's an average, not a rule. In healthy men who train, sleep well, and maintain lean body mass, that decline is much slower. And in some cases, testosterone levels can remain near youthful levels into your 60s and 70s. So aging is part of the story, but it's modifiable. Next is visceral fat. So fat doesn't just sit there, it's hormonally active. And visceral fat, the kind that collects around your organs and belly, it contains this enzyme called aromatase, which converts testosterone into estradiol, a form of estrogen. And what does that excess estrogen do? It tells your brain to stop making testosterone. It's basically a feedback loop. So more fat leads to more estrogen, leading to less testosterone, leading to more fat. And in fact, they found that men who are obese often have 40 to 50% lower testosterone than lean men. Now, how about sleep deprivation? This is one of the biggest killers of testosterone, and it's one of the easiest to fix. Most of your daily testosterone is secreted during deep, slow wave sleep, especially in the early morning hours. One controlled trial showed that sleeping just 5 hours a night for 1 week dropped daytime testosterone by up to 15%, and this was in young, healthy men. So if you want more testosterone, go to bed. No hacks, no supplements, and no secret foods are going to compensate for sleep deprivation. Now, what about chronic stress and cortisol? You cannot separate stress from testosterone. Chronic stress elevates cortisol, your body's primary stress hormone. And cortisol directly interferes with testosterone production, both at the brain level as well as the testicular level. Think about it like this. When your body is in survival mode, it shuts off the systems that aren't critical. And reproduction is not critical to survival. So when you're overworked, overtraining, under-recovering, and mentally burned out, testosterone drops. And it doesn't bounce back until that stress is dealt with. Now, how about alcohol and endocrine disruptors? So this one's sneaky because it's not just about how much you drink, it's how often. So chronic alcohol use suppresses testosterone production by damaging Leydig cells in the testes and increasing aromatase activity. It also impacts sleep and liver function, both of which influence SHBG, or sex hormone binding globulin, and free testosterone. Even more disturbing, modern life surrounds us with chemicals that mimic estrogen and disrupt the endocrine system. For example, BPA from plastic bottles and food containers, or phthalates from fragrances and vinyl and processed packaging, and lastly, pesticides and persistent organic pollutants in food and water. These compounds bind to your estrogen receptors and they send the wrong message to your HPG axis. Basically, they say, we have enough sex hormones, shut it down. And over time, they're gonna dull your hormonal signal like background noise until your body just stops listening. So that's all well and good, but what do we do about it? That's what part 2 is all about. Because the good news is your body wants to produce testosterone. Your job is to stop getting in the way and start giving it the signals it needs. In the next section, I'm going to walk you through the 9 core levers to naturally raise testosterone, based on the best human data we have, including resistance training, body composition, sleep, nutrition, sex, supplements, and stress management. We'll also dig into the science of SHBG. It's basically the gatekeeper that locks up testosterone, and how to lower it to unlock more free active T. If you've ever wondered why your labs look normal but you still feel off, this is where it gets interesting.